Hey there, Sovereigns. Monica Grace from cardreadingqueen.com here, and this is going to be a love reading for Aries for the Lunar New Year in 2020. So for this reading, it's okay if you're watching this at any other time. It's basically about new beginnings in love for the sign of Aries. You can use this reading if you are looking up your own sign, someone else's sign. You can use it for the sun sign, which is what's typically on the surface a bit more. You can also use it if it's a moon sign. That would be more like the behind the scenes or the emotions behind what is going on. You can also use it if you have Aries as your Venus sign, or your partner has Aries as their Venus sign, because the Venus sign and the planet is symbolic of the love and romantic relationships between people. So with that said, if you'd like the semi-personal or extended reading that goes along with this reading, then you can go to cardreadingqueen.com/2020 readings. When you go there, you can actually pick up the bundle of readings for all of 2020. So I do mine as a bundle rather than as individual readings. And with that, you're going to get at least 50 readings, not including these zodiac readings. So these are kind of a bonus, but you'll get 50 readings that are situational. So you can go to these readings at any time whenever you're experiencing a specific situation. So let's get started. We're going to first pull for the overall energies. And I've chosen these decks specifically for Aries because Aries is actually going to have a good year. So Aries has been through kind of a mucky year or a couple years in the past, and currently everything is feeling really clear. So that's a really good sign for them. So let's take a look at what the overall energies are. And what we're looking at is we are tapping into energies for the time period. So for beginning of 2020, like I said though, if you're experiencing a new beginning and have an Aries sign, then feel free to take the messages as they relate to you. So the two messages are, I can think my way out of fear and I pray before I pay. So what I'm getting for that is that Aries has they've really come around to less of a logical thinking that is typical of the sign, and also less of a hot-headed thinking, and they're really finding a lot more peace in their lives than they've found in previous years, and especially in the last year. So they're moving more into their intuition. Let's go ahead and pull some more cards for this. So we have this tarot deck. This is a new one for me. I haven't used it much so far. It's called Tarot of the Golden Wheel by Mila Losenko. Let's see what messages we have for Aries. Now, if you're interested in the extended reading, I'll give you some ideas about what that is going to cover. So it's gonna, we're gonna talk about the situation in this reading, but it's also going to cover hidden aspects of the situation, what the other party wants, what the block is, what is the person not communicating about the block, and then some final guidance. So really useful semi-personal / extended reading, whatever you want to call them. Let's find out what is going on with Aries this month. All right, so what I'm getting from this, it's really just confirming a lot of what I said based on these cards. The High Priestess, definitely Aries is tapping more into their intuition than they ever have been before. So it really depends on what their situation was before, but they are basically at a new level of tapping into their intuition that they haven't experienced before. We also have the Eight of Wands. This is just showing big breakthroughs from this. So their intuition is, they're realizing that their intuition is helping them tap into a flow that they didn't have access to before. And they're realizing that everything is flowing much better when they just trust their intuition and get out of their logical mind a bit more. So you can see in this Eight of Wands, these breakthroughs are happening, and sometimes they can be tower moments, and you can kind of see this this cloud of storm in the background. But this particular character, he or she is, you know, they're having the breakthroughs and they're really getting through the challenges very victorious. So you can kind of see that from this. This is interesting as well with this imagery. So the High Priestess is among, it's almost like a High Priestess / Empress energy for this, because she's among the trees and kind of a little bit more in nature than the High Priestess would normally be. So I think what this means is that there's an earthiness to this Aries right now. Aries is typically a fire sign, but the earthiness is, it's basically, it's not the most compatible energy for Aries, but it's basically this idea that they are using their intuition, but it's a very grounded use of it. So they're really taking their intuition, but it's all still got to be applicable in the 3D. And so they're grounding it into reality, whatever their intuition is telling them, and using both intuition. They're taking their cues from the intuition, but they're finding the logic and the rational thinking that supports their intuition. So there's this really lovely energy. It's kind of like a merging of energies and really connecting the 5D to the 3D at this time. We also have Justice. So what I'm getting from this, sometimes this card symbolizes divorce. So there could be some sort of divorce finalizing. It could also be any sort of justice or law related situation. So could be all sorts of things, like a DUI, drug charge, those types of things. Those could be getting resolved. The other thing I'm getting from this, though, is that they're just cutting the crap out of their lives. So you can see that this is a very, this Justice card is a very fiery energy, and really has markings of the sun, but it's a very fiery energy. And so what I'm getting from this, it could be that they're cutting stuff out of their lives externally, but it could also be that they're just cutting their own BS in many ways. And what I'm getting is a hot-headedness. Like they're cutting, like they used to be very harsh and very like burn it all down type of energy. Aries is a sign of war and is also connected to Mars, which is the god of war. This is like, what I'm getting from this is that there's a pulling back from that energy. And I think it goes along with some of this earthy energy as well. They're pulling back from this scorched earth energy that they may have been in the past. All right, so let's talk about how they feel about it. I just want to say, if you are reading, or if you are watching this for yourself, that's okay as well. Just take the messages as they resonate. I'm speaking about it more as a person that maybe you're in a partnership with, but this could also be for you. So take the messages as they resonate. So the feelings behind this energy. So we have the King of Swords and the Ace of Swords. So there's a lot of clarity and logic happening. And I think, you know, there's this icy blue energy that is really in both of these cards. And what I'm seeing from that is that it kind of goes with what I was talking about up here. So the High Priestess and the Eight of Wands. It's really confirming what I said before, that these pieces, the intuition is happening, the breakthroughs are happening, but they're very connected and grounded in this logical mindset, which is very common of Aries. The King of Swords is basically an embodiment of Aries energy. along with, the planetary energy of Mars. Like it really goes together. And these two cards are, twins in a way, in the sense you have the King of Swords, the Ace of Swords. The Ace of Swords is typically about clarity. The King of Swords is about using logic at its highest level, basically, like not overusing it, not ignoring other things in favor of logic, but it's really about like having a good handle on the logic. So I'm getting the clarity is coming from these breakthroughs as well. So these breakthroughs are working on this particular person. So see how these cards are, they have certain colors and imagery and energy, and then these don't really seem to fit with these. So I just want to kind of share that. So this I think is like kind of a message in itself. And then these two I think go together really well. So we have the Two of Wheels, which, Two of Pentacles in a traditional tarot deck. What I'm getting from this is that these two cards are both cards of duality. So it's, it's a little bit about a choice. It's about finding balance between those choices. I'm getting that this is basically the person for this reading is making a final choice, basically, is deciding between these two things once and for all. What I'm getting from this is that they were very wishy-washy before. Like they were kind of still on both sides of the fence, or trying to be on both sides of the fence, in the sense that something was not completely tucked up. They hadn't fully made their decision, or they hadn't fully, filed the paperwork or gone through the decision-making process, or moved out, or ended the relationship, or whatever it was. And now that it's a new year, they realize that they don't want to start the year with this hanging over them anymore. Like they feel very done with this. And they would really like to have a different year than they had before. So that new year is, it's spurring them on energetically to not drag this out any longer. And it's been a really difficult situation for them that they were kind of pushing off on making decisions about. So that's what's going on. This feeling is, it's really that they feel good about this. They feel good about putting this situation behind them for good. So let's keep going. Pull one more row, and then we will pull some guidance. All right, so we have the Eight of Wheels, the Emperor, and the Hanged Man. So what I'm getting from this is that this person, they basically, the changes that they're making, so there's something ending for this person at the beginning of this year. So they're welcoming in this new year on a good note, and they want it to be better than last year. What I'm getting from this, though, is that they are not necessarily moving toward a new situation at this time. So the Eight of Wheels, really just diving into work. What I'm getting from this is actually that work is a sanctuary, because the intuition is getting stronger, but the logic is still a foundation for this Aries. So work is a really great place for them right now, because they're able to kind of ground into that logical side, and it's not, there's not as much emotion involved. I'm getting that the Aries feels like a master. So the Emperor, very similar energy to the King of Swords, very similar energy to Aries. So they're feeling really on top of the world. They're feeling like they got their stuff handled. but it doesn't necessarily mean they're ready to move into a new situation. So for example, if they just, finished their divorce, that's not, that the energy is not like, okay, now I'm ready for a relationship. It's like, okay, now I'm ready for a fresh start, whatever that looks like. Like, they just want to be happy in the coming year. They don't necessarily want to start anything new. So they're really sinking into this calm and foundational break period, like an empty space or a space of freedom where they can just really breathe and breathe, like almost like they want to breathe out the previous situation. They're not really ready to breathe in a new one. So this Hanged Man, it's really about, it's about, so normally I read this as a shift in perspective, but what I'm getting from this is that it's actually, there's like a stagnant energy to this almost, which is that they have shifted perspective, but they're still tied up energetically. They're not really, and by that I mean like the situation has ended, but like they're, and they have moved on, but they're not moving forward still. So it's actually this, it's almost like you have the situation, then you have the situation that they just left, the situation that they want to go to. And there's actually this really long hallway in between there. And it's like, they want to spend this year just walking through the hallway. They're not really trying to get to this new situation that quickly. All right, so let's pull some final guidance. And this is my dear friend Susan's deck. She has conversations with counterparts. She also has conversations with spirit. And you can find those at Susan Dawn Spiritual Connections. She has a YouTube channel. She also has an Etsy store. So definitely check that out. So what is the final guidance for this Aries? So I can't believe a love like this exists, and I'm struggling to communicate how I feel. Yeah, what I'm getting from this is that there's still a period of waiting. There's still, it's going back to this hallway. I think that this person recognizes the love that they feel. At the same time, they're not quite ready to reveal that to their person. And I think part of it is that, with this message, it's really saying they can feel the feelings of this person, but they still haven't found the logic of it. So it could be a situation where it's like they feel something for this person, but this person is tied up in a different relationship, or they feel something for this person, but this person lives far away from them, or they feel something for this person, but it just doesn't make sense to them. They're like, I don't even know this person, or I haven't been around this person much, or whatever it is. And it's a situation of like, they're still trying to find the connections, the logical connections, because they truly can't move into this just based on their feelings. They've got to connect that and ground that into their 3D reality through logic in some way. So they're struggling to communicate how they feel because they don't know what the purpose is of what they're feeling, because they don't see the logical path to get to an end result that is worth discussing their emotions over. So I hope this was helpful to you. If you want to go to the semi-personal reading that is tapping into the same energy, make sure you go to cardreadingqueen.com/2020 readings, and that will explain how you can get the bundle. The bundle is priced for the year. It's a very affordable price for, again, it's over 50 situational readings plus the zodiac readings every single month. Additionally, there is a payment plan So if you, there's really, if you want it, there's no reason that you wouldn't be able to get it, because the payment plan is very affordable as well, as is the bundle itself. So both options are very affordable. So no matter what your budget is, you would be able to get this bundle. So thank you for watching this reading, and please subscribe to the channel. You can go to cardreadingqueen.com/YouTube if you're not already on YouTube watching this video. Please subscribe to the channel though, because I'll be putting out a zodiac reading for every single month of 2020. Thank you so much for watching this video. Have a beautiful and blessed day.